During the spring of 2020, pandemic infection didn't spread evenly. Zip codes just miles apart recorded mortality rates that diverged by 400%. Initial reports blamed the sheer density of the city, millions of people living in close proximity. The assumption was that the more people packed onto a block, the faster the virus moves. Data from New York City contradicts that assumption. Manhattan, the densest borough, recorded the lowest infection rates. The lower-density Bronx and Queens became the actual epicenters. These maps follow wealth and race. Manhattan concentrates extreme wealth and white residents. The outer boroughs house the lower-income minority populations, essential service workers who kept the city running. These disparities follow the lines of the city's economic geography, rather than simple population density or personal habits. The true vector for the disease is a systemic failure hidden inside the way our cities are built. Shifting the focus to the interior of these buildings reveals the actual mechanism of transmission: household overcrowding. Low-wage essential workers and immigrant families often share small units to manage exorbitant rents. These conditions mirror the 19th century tenement fever nests that public health officials fought over 100 years ago. The 2020 pandemic exposed the clinical danger of a housing market that prioritizes speculative profit over safe living conditions. The virus hit these households hardest because the market forces the most vulnerable residents into the most dangerous living conditions. When we look at why housing is so expensive, we run into a contradiction. Construction costs for the physical structure of a home, adjusted for inflation, have remained relatively stable for 30 years. The skyrocketing price of urban land drives the affordability crisis. This chart shows construction costs leveling off, while land values explode. Global trusts treat real estate as a financial instrument, bidding up prices beyond utility, fueling a speculative everything bubble. Economists define this as Ricardian rent, a system where landowners passively collect the financial value generated by public transit, parks, and the labor of everyone around them. The city functions as an extraction engine, funneling the active labor of the working class into passive wealth for land speculators. This speculative system was historically used to block Black Americans from building land-based wealth through a process of systemic exclusion. Urban planners like Robert Moses carved limited-access highways through minority neighborhoods to facilitate the growth of white-only suburbs. These highways introduced heavy air pollution into the heart of the city, leading to chronically high asthma rates in the surrounding zip codes. Those decades of respiratory damage created a lethal vulnerability when the virus arrived, directly contributing to the higher mortality rates recorded among Black Americans. As these pressures now expand to squeeze millennials and the broader working class, the systemic frustration has reached a breaking point. America's urban geography serves as a meticulously mapped record of inequality, dictating who builds wealth and who gets sick. Western capitalism does not have to result in this kind of geographical sickness. Vienna solved its housing crisis a century ago by aggressively moving land into a public trust, ensuring it could never be sold off to the highest bidder. The city acts as the primary developer, building high-quality superblocks like the Karl Marx Hof. Because the public owns the land, these homes remain insulated from global market speculation, keeping rents tied to local maintenance costs rather than global asset prices. This premium housing system serves the city's middle class, providing high-quality homes to the majority of the population. Vienna demonstrates that urban land can function as a public utility to promote health and equity rather than a speculative financial asset. Local American governments already possess the zoning tools to fix these land rents without waiting for federal action. Cambridge, Massachusetts implemented an affordable housing overlay that allows builders to double their density, provided every single unit is permanently affordable. This policy drains the speculative value out of the land. It ensures that the profits from new construction serve the public's need for shelter, rather than the speculator's need for extraction. To heal these intersecting crises, we have to look past the visible buildings and reclaim the very land beneath our feet.